of topsoil could be all of our needs for cancer treatment, for our favorite foods, and for cooling down our planet. Unfortunately, the UN estimates that in 60 years, we could lose most of our topsoil and its biodiversity. This leads to 3 problems. The first one is drug discovery. Only 1% of soil microbes have been researched because 99% of them cannot be cultivated in the lab. And from that 1%, we have discovered 80% of our antibiotics. We have barely scratched the surface of the potential of the soil microbiome. The second problem is food production. We could lose 95% of our food that is currently produced in soil. That includes 8 of our staple crops: rice, wheat, maize, that cannot be produced without soil. The third problem is carbon. 2,500 billion tons of carbon is sequestered deep in the soil. And that means if it all is released, it can accelerate climate change.
And our moonshot can turn this challenge into opportunities by creating world's largest microbiome bank to sequence and back up soil biodiversity. And to do that, our first product is to create a soil microbiome testing kit, which will allow farmers to sequence their farm soil. Once we sequence the farm soil, we can learn the data pattern, and then we can turn those data into actionable knowledge. So action number 1 is to do soil mining without actually mining the soil, which means with machine learning, we can mine valuable compounds and antibiotic out of the soil data. And action number 2 is current study shows that there is a potential in increase of crop yield by 3 to 20% if we can find right microbial combination, which can increase the fertility of the soil. And that brings me to action number 3, which is if the soil is fertile, that also means that soil can now sequester more and more carbon. And study says that 9% of global carbon emission can be sequestered in the soil if we do it right.
We bring to this moonshot experience working at the World Bank, experience at the Microsoft Innovation Center, 10 years of computer engineering expertise, and 10 years of agriculture and international development expertise. We imagine a world where smallholder farmers do not have to get into debt to buy chemical pesticides because they can grow their own organic ones. We imagine a world where food safety control is preventative rather than reactive, because you can monitor the harmful pathogens in the soil, such as Salmonella and E. coli, before it ever gets into your food. We imagine a world where we can hack the natural process of regrowing 1 inch of topsoil and make it 1 year instead of 500 years. Imagine a world where you can be a soil entrepreneur to sequester more carbon in the world and get paid through the carbon market. All of these worlds are possible. With our global database, we'll be able to correlate satellite imagery with soil testing data and find the specific communities of microbes that can regenerate the world's soil. We are FarmSpace, soil essence delivered.